everybody's talking about the Patriots and whether they're going to trade up, whether they're going to trade down, and I kind of talked about this when we made or went through my mock draft last week. I don't think that it's in Bill Belichick's character to trade up for a quarterback. I just don't see it. I see Bill as a brilliant football mind. He has always made the best out of other teams' trash. The Patriots were, for a while, that team in which other teams' trash turns into Bill Belichick's treasure. He can have the tendency to be a bit of a minimalist, which is why this offseason is so obscure for the Patriots, seeing Bill Belichick go and spend so much money on a couple of tight ends, a couple of wide receivers, and Matthew Judon as well. You know, Bill Belichick going and spending all that cash is really obscure, which again, the Patriots are a wild card, but I still don't see it in his character for Bill Belichick to go and trade up for a quarterback. Every single time I see somebody suggesting that the Patriots go up and take a quarterback, I just find it so unreasonable. I completely disagree with it, and I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's more than likely that Bill Belichick actually trades down and takes advantage of a team like Chicago, which is exactly what I suggested in my mock draft would happen. In which Bill Belichick, being, a bit of an opportunist, being extremely experienced, says, "Hey, look, Chicago, you need a quarterback. I know that you're looking for a quarterback, Ryan Pace. You have not got this right. Do you want our pick to try and get one of the runs of the litter that comes out of the top 5 quarterbacks? Because I'm of the opinion that there are going to be some top 5 quarterbacks that slide into picks 10 to 20. So I find it more reasonable that Belichick says to a team like maybe Washington or Chicago, saying, hey, you guys trying to get into the top 15? You guys trying to nab that last quarterback that's available? Well, let's talk and do business. I find it more reasonable that Belichick is going to trade back and then get a quarterback like Kyle Trask in day 2, in which, hey, Kyle Trask out of Florida would be an absolute raw prospect. He would be a prospect to work on. And it's not exactly like he has Tom Brady to learn from now, right? But I would find it more reasonable that Belichick is able to work with somebody like Kyle Trask, who they find in day 2 of the NFL draft, who was a Heisman candidate at one point. Like, the kid's got a cannon. He's a little bit inaccurate, but he's got a really strong arm. I would find it more reasonable that Bill Belichick would do that than trade up in the NFL draft. I just don't find it reasonable, and every single time the Patriots talked about moving up in the draft, it kind of just makes me shake my head and just say, that's not reasonable. People aren't using their brains, and I understand a lot of it is just the media trying to find something to talk about, but just use your brains. It just does not make sense. I would be extremely surprised, and hey, again, maybe I'm completely wrong. The wild card of Bill Belichick. This is the offseason of Wild Bill. The offseason of Wild Bill Belichick and what he's doing with the Patriots organization. So, theoretically speaking, if Bill Belichick did move up to go and get a quarterback, who would that quarterback be? Bill has been visiting all of these quarterbacks in their pro days. It's very possible that he does like one of these quarterbacks, or maybe he's just trying to be informed on these quarterbacks moving forward in case the opportunity presents itself. But again, I still don't see it. I see the Patriots trading down then as a more likely option than them trading up and getting a quarterback. I think the Patriots have a lot more needs than just quarterback right now. I still think that even with the acquisitions of Aguilar and Bourne, that they need some more wide receiver help. I wouldn't be surprised if they take a wide receiver. They need some defensive end help as well. They need some help on the defensive line rather. I can't remember the last time that the New England Patriots had a solidified, scary pass rusher, probably Chandler Jones or Richard Seymour. It's Vince Wilfork to some extent. I mean, he was just a big body coming through the line. So I don't really necessarily buy into the Patriots doing anything in the draft in terms of trading. I don't think it's in Bill's character. And hey, maybe we look back on this video and I'm proved completely wrong. And if that's the case, that's okay. But I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. I don't think that Bill's going to be doing anything. I think he stays at 15, and the rest is just pure media hype. Hey folks, thank you so much for listening to this segment from the Hard-Headed Sports Podcast. If you enjoyed this segment, make sure that you drop a like on the video and a comment. It helps me out a bunch. And if you're interested in watching more segments like this from the show after the show has been completed, you should definitely subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you're interested in listening to the entire show in its full-length entirety, you should listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor. Once again, thank you so much for watching the video. My name is Nick Ryan, and I will see you all again very soon.